we're going to Daniel chapter 8. You know, so a lot of people do not understand about Daniel chapter 8. You know, it's all dealing with the end time, like I've been trying to tell people for years. But there he go. All right. In Daniel chapter 8, verse 1. It's going to be probably a long video. So just get ready. Just follow me so you can understand. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. See, what appeared unto Daniel at the first? That's in Daniel chapter 7. He talk about those 4 great beasts. That's when he had that vision. You know, I'm going to turn to Daniel chapter 7. And verse 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. In the 1st year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head. See, it was the vision he talked about in Daniel chapter 8. See, vision of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matter. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of the heaven stroll upon the great sea. You know, like a big wall. You know, 4 winds. I mean wall. I mean a fight upon the earth. And you see there. And verse 3 say, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea. They verse one from another. See, they came up from the sea. See, just like what they be saying in Revelation chapter 13 and 1. I stood up on the sand of the sea and saw a beast. See, this has the population, the populated area, like in Europe, in Asia, in Europe. That don't mean that. You know. Then in Revelation it said a beast. It is combine all these beasts together except the false prophet. The false prophet came in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 11. Come on. It's can't make the video real long, so I can't talk about it. We'll get into it another time, but I done talked about it already before. But Daniel's talking here about these 4 beasts, you know, with the vision that he's seen. What he have saw. In Daniel chapter 8, like in verse 1, there was the same vision he was talking about in chapter 8. What he seen. What God was showing him. What he have saw. All right. Verse 2 saying, I saw. See, Daniel say he saw, talk about the vision. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns. See, you're talking about the Media and Persia. They had 2 horns. One was higher than the other. The higher came up last. We're talking about the higher one that came up last. It's a ram. That's what we're going to fight now. The U.S. going to fight Iran. They're going to break Iran home. Then the Bible says his horn going to be broken. We don't know how long. Maybe 6 months after, 3 years. Depends how long God wanted to happen. Maybe 10 years, maybe 5 years, or 6 months, or whatever. But it's going to be broken after they fight Iran and beat Iran. You're going to break his two home. Bush broke Iraq home. See, the higher came up last. See, it said, I lift up my eyes, verse 3 says, I lift up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river Iran, which had two horns. And the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. That's Iran. See, Iran is more stronger than Iraq. See, the higher came up last. In verse 4 saying, and I saw Iran pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. But he did according to his will and became great. See, Muslim people always talking about they're great. God is great. That they're great. All right. And verse 5 said, and as I was considering, and behold, and a eagle came from the west. See, that's the U.S. We are known as the West. The eagle came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground. See, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. You see, it touched not the ground. See how we're going into toward rain now? See, we're going into a rain. We're not touching the ground. We'll go there by ship and by airplane. See? So a lot of people can't see, don't understand. They think about it like it was like first Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar, see, was the first Babylon. It was the Lion Nation. But at the end time, the Lion Nation is Britain and the United States. It's the Lion Nation. Then the Medo-Persian, they defeated the Lion Nation back there at Babylon. The Medo-Persian. The Medo-Persian, after the second one was the Medo-Persian, it was called a bear. But at the end time, the bear is Russia. You got to understand, it's just a different nation. History repeating itself. That's what a lot of preachers can't see, because the Bible is talking about the end time, and we'll show you that. I will get to that. See, that's what a lot of people do not understand. Read with understand. Why the Lord said, he that read it, let him understand. You're not talking about the Persian Empire back then. Persian Empire back there was the bear. But at the end time, the bear is the Russian bear. Then the Greek defeated the bear. The Persian Empire back then. So it was the four general, the Greek Empire, Alexander the Great. Everybody talked about it. And then when he died, the four general took over. But at the end time, it'll be Russia, China, and Britain, and the Vatican, the false prophet from the Vatican. It'll be four of them stand up for their kingdom. And I'll get to all that. All right, let me move on. And say, as I was considering, verse 5 said, and behold, a eagle came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. He had a notable, had the superpower. And verse 6 said, and he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen, standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his Bush ran into a rock, and Donald Trump going into the Middle East where rain is. All right, in verse 7 said, and I saw him come close unto the ram. See, they are close to the ram right now, to a ram. And he was moved with choler, that's like anger against him, and smote the ram and break his two horns. See, you're going to break a ram horn. See, Bush already done broke a rock horn. Now Donald Trump going to break a ram horn. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground. See, he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. See, and none of people be saying Russia and China gonna help, and none gonna be able to deliver the ram out of his hand, out of the he-goat's hand. That's the United States, Britain. And none will be able to deliver. And see, after he break them home, the Bible said, therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. See, and for it came up four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven. That's the third beast. See, after the United States horn is broken, see, right now we're in the first and the second beast. The United States, Britain, and the Russian bear. That's why we are now in Bible prophecy. Because Russia came in, the United States came in from 9/11, 2001. And Russia came in 2008 when they took Georgia. See, it said the four winds of heaven. See, I'm going to read it over, verse 8. It said, therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. Talking about the U.S. And for it came up four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven. That's the third beast will come in. There's going to be China, Russia, and Britain, and the false prophet from the Vatican. Then when a false prophet will come, the 10 horn will come first. See, it is showing just a false prophet here, like in verse 9. See, and it say, out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. See, that little horn is the false prophet. But the 10 horn come first. And the false prophet come among. And the false prophet will get out from the third beast because he was among the four heads. Third beast. Third beast was a leopard. I'll show you that in Daniel chapter 7 and verse 6. It said, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard. He talking about was Alexander the Great back then. But the Bible is talking about the end time. Gotta remember that, like I'm telling you. There was another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads. It was 4 rulers. See, it's going to be Russia, China, and Britain, and the false prophet from the Vatican. And it said, dominion was given to it. See, dominion was given to it. Then after that, the 4th beast, they're going to rule a while, like I was telling you. The 3rd beast will rule a while. See, like from verse 9 all the way to verse, 12, 13, you're talking about the Antichrist, the false prophet, that will rule at the end time. Then I'm going to jump to like in verse 22, if I talk about it again. I'm in 21, I'm talking about the he-goat and all that. So it's because it takes a lot of time, but I'm just going through some of the things. See, like in verse 17, it says, so he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, O Son of Man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. See, just dealing with the end times, just like I was trying to show people. They be talking about Alexander the Great and the Persian Empire on back then. The Bible is not talking about that. Daniel chapter 7 is dealing with the end time. You got to understand that. It's like what we're talking about here in Daniel chapter 8. You're talking about the first beast that had eagle wings here in Daniel chapter 8. The United States and Britain. And it's talking about the first beast with the fighting with the ram. Iraq and Iran. Talking about the ram. The ram had two horns. That's Iraq and Iran. Media and Persia. Back then it was Media and Persia. But at the end time, it's Iraq and Iran. See, Iraq was Media. Iraq was Media back then. At the end time, it's Iraq. And Persia back then, at the end time, Persia is Iran. So the line gonna fight Iran at the end time. Media and Persia at the end time. With the line gonna fight. And they gonna beat the line, gonna beat the Media and Persia. Iraq and Iran. Iraq horn is already broken. Just got to break Iran horn. And like in verse 19, the Bible telling you again, like I was showing y'all. Verse 19 said, he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation. For at the time appointed, the end shall be. See, Daniel is dealing with the end time. He's talking about the end time now. He's not talking about no 500 years ago, about the Persian Empire, about the Babylonian Empire, the Greek Empire. He's not talking about that. He's dealing with the end. Just like what Jesus Christ talking about in Matthew chapter 24, and Mark chapter 13, and Luke chapter 21. All that's dealing with the end time. It's like in Revelation, in chapter 13, all that's dealing with the end time. You ain't dealing with what happened by Nebuchadnezzar back then, the Babylonian system back then. You're talking about the Babylonian system at the end time. That's all I'm trying to show y'all. This is how those people be telling all type of things that's not true. About the United States, it's Babylonian, is the second beast in Revelation chapter 13. That's not true. That's the last beast government, the false prophet. Revelation chapter 13 verse 11. That's the last beast government. He's not talking about the United States. The United States don't gonna be broken already. The United States help Israel. It won't build to help Israel at the moment, because God gonna get all nation against Israel. All those nations gonna turn against Israel at the end time. Y'all understand now? The United States home gonna be broken. They ain't gonna have no more authority. They're gonna be here, but they're gonna have no more authority in the world now. They are the leader now in the world. You gotta understand that. When the United States home get broken, it could be 4 of them gonna rule for a while. They tell you that in Daniel chapter 8, same chapter. See, like in I'm starting in verse 21. And saying, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. The great horn is the first king, like Bushra was the first, broke a rock horn. Everybody's talking about the end time. All right, and Trump gonna break Iran. Look like Trump gonna break Iran horn. That's what it look like now. All right, verse 22 said, now that being broken, whereas four stood up for its four kingdoms. See, now that being broken, talking about the United States. Saying, whereas now that being broken, whereas four stood up for its four kingdoms. See, for its four kingdoms. See, that was the third beast. Will stand up at the end time. Shall stand up out of the nation, like out of the United Nations, but not in his power. And see, not in the U.S. power. See, four must stand up out of the nation, but not in the U.S. power. See. All right, verse 23 said, in the latter time of their kingdom, you see the third beast with them four rulers, they're going to rule for a while. So he tell you in the latter time, see, of their kingdom, when the transgressions are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance, understanding of dark sentences shall stand up. See, that's the Antichrist. But they're not showing the 10 horn right here. You got to understand that, how the Bible explain things. But see, the Antichrist, after the four of them going to rule a while, but the 10 horn will come first. Then the little horn will come among the 10. That's the Antichrist, because when you read about it in Daniel chapter 7, and verse 7 and 8, it said, after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful, terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. See, the beast that were before it, it was the leopard. It had 4 heads, but it had 10. This beast had 10 horns. See, it came in after the latter time of the third beast. The 10 horns showed up, got the 10 kings. And verse 8 said, and I considered the horns. See what horn with is? They're talking about the 10 kings. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. See, that was the false prophet. See, it came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. Who was the first horn that plucked up by the roots? See? You got to think. It's not 3 of the 10. Those 3 of those was in the third beast. Third beast had 4 heads. The little horn got out from the third beast and got with the 10 king when it showed up. See, the third beast had the lion, the bear, and China, and the Vatican. See, it was Russia, China, and Britain, and the Vatican, the false prophet from the Vatican. See, the false prophet got out from the third beast when the 10 horns showed up. So he got with the 10. And then when he got with the 10, he plucked up those other 3 who he was with. He didn't pluck up the 10. The 3 out of the 10. That's what these preachers be saying, be lying. He plucked up them other beasts who he was with. You don't see in Daniel chapter 8? I just read it to you. Daniel chapter 8, it said, therefore, Daniel chapter 8 and 9. It said, therefore the he-goat waxed very great. Talking about the U.S. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken. See, when the U.S. horn get broken, and 4 of it came up, 4 notable one toward the 4 winds of heaven. See, 4 of them came up. See, said, therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones. See, it was 4 of them that came up after the U.S. horn was broken. 4 of them came up. It was China, Russia, Britain, and a false prophet from the Vatican. See, in verse 9 said, out of those 4, see, one of them got out, and that was the little horn from the Vatican, the false prophet. Verse 9 said, out of one of them, see, came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. See, it was 4 of them. And the little horn got out, and it got with the 10 kings. That's why I tell you that he came among the 10. Tell you that in Daniel 7 and 8. See, you can go to verse 20, it tell you the same thing. It said, and of the verse 20 in Daniel 7 and verse 20, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, before whom there were 3 of the first horn. See, 3 of the first horn. See, I mean 3 fair, excuse me, I'm talking about that, think of the other script. Verse 20 saying, of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell. See, 3 of them fell. But in Daniel chapter 8, it said he plucked up 3. Right here, he said 3 fell. Even of that horn had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose looks were more stout than his fellow. And verse 24 said the same thing. Right here, you can say, subdued 3 kings. See, that was in the 3rd beast, the leopard, because it was 4 of them. But the Antichrist got out from the 3rd beast and got with the 10. See, the 10 horn came first. Then he got out from the little horn got out from the 3rd beast, and he got with the 10. Verse 24 said, and the 10 horn out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them. See, that's the little horn. And he shall be diverged from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. See, he got subdue the 3 who he was with, because it was 4 of them with him in the 3rd beast. That's all I'm trying to show y'all. See, but the United States aren't going to be plucked up after they beat Iran. You know, we don't know how long after. It can be 6 months or whatever after, or 2, 3 years, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. We don't know. Excuse me. Depends how long God wanted it to be. You know, God is in charge. You know. And after we'll get into the 3rd beast, when the United States horn be plucked up. Get into the 3rd beast. And after the latter time of the 3rd beast, the 10 horn will show up. And the little horn will get out from the 3rd beast. The false prophet will get out from the 3rd beast and get with the 10 kings. And during that time, and then the 2 witnesses will come, will be here at that period of time. See, and beasts will be tormented by the 2 witnesses. See, there's a period of time tormented, like I tell people, it's be a period of time. You know, just tormented, it's just a one-time thing. It's not tormented. When you're tormented, it goes for a period of time. Just like like Satan will be tormented in the flame, in the fire at the end time. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 10. And these preachers, prophets will be lying to the people, saying you just get burned up and you won't be tormented. Tell you that in chapter 14 verse 11. You will be tormented. Or that disobeyed and don't keep God's commandments. You know, that's all I'm trying to show y'all. Better read your Bible and get an understanding. You don't take my word for nothing. You better read for yourself. You know, the Lord said, take heed that no man deceive you. But I'm just showing you the Bible is dealing with the end time, like chapter 7, verse 17. You know, I tell you, dealing with the end time. You know, talk about those four beasts. You know, like Daniel chapter 8, verse 17, 8 and 17. See, didn't tell you about the Daniel is dealing with the end time. You see, well, it won't be revealed till the end time. See, in verse 19 too, it tell you about the time of the end. See, you're talking all about the he-goat, all about the four, you know, the four beasts. Deal all with those four beasts. But right, Daniel chapter 8, they're dealing with the lion, with the ram. And they talk a little bit about the fourth beast. You know, the false prophet. False prophet, like say, like from verse 9. See, he got out from the third beast. Then he's going to make a war with the saints. See, like in verse 11 and 12, he'll make a war with us. I explained that before with y'all. Like I said, it'll be a long video. I'll go through all that. You know, I'm just trying to get y'all to see all that dealing with the end time. Listen to these men talking about the Persian Empire back then. Yeah, that's happened back then. But the Bible that Daniel dealing at chapter 7, chapter 8 is dealing with the end time. Like Revelation 2, chapter 13, all that 14, all that 17, 16, 17, 18, dealing with the end time. Like from verse, all the way to verse 21, 22. 21, 22 is dealing with after the millennium. Dealing all with the end time. What's coming. That's all I'm trying to show you. You know, chapter 9, Revelation, all that dealing with the end time. You know, about the two witnesses, all that dealing with the end time. Look at Revelation. The two witnesses in chapter 11. Chapter 8 is dealing with, you know, about the end time too. The battle of Armageddon. Dealing with all that. Revelation 16, all that. Revelation 7, it says seal up before he pour out the plagues and stuff on the people. Seal his servant in their forehead. All that's from 7 on, all that dealing with the end time. You know, chapter 6 too, talking about the end time. You know, certain things for the Bible going, you know, back and forth sometimes. But almost like this 9, 8, you know, all that dealing with the end time, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 to 22, all at the end time, just after the millennium, like in 21 and 22. You know, the Bible goes back and forth, but I mean, the whole chapter mostly dealing with, like from 9, 8, all that dealing with the end time, all the way to 22. You know, that's all I wanted to bring to y'all so that y'all can get to understand it. You know, but you just look over what I just showed you. Look over Daniel chapter 8. He's talking about the he-goat, about the ram. The he-goat is the United States. You know, the Western Alliance, the United States. There's the head. He's going to break a ram horn. But his horn will be broken. The Bible says, I think I have no more authority in the world. See, if all kingdoms always fall in the Lord, it's like Babylon, the Mede, Persia, all of them, every last one of them. You know, they don't stay in power for always. Just like the Antichrist. He's going to get destroyed at the end time. You know, that's just how it is. And I understand that's God's doing. He got all the power. He sets up king, put down. But thank y'all, and may God bless y'all and give y'all wisdom and knowledge and understanding of His word. See, it's not time yet, like I said, for the two witnesses. See, two witnesses could be there at the time, like maybe when the Antichrist get here, because we're doing the 10 horn time. You know, the Antichrist will come among those 10 horns. And they're going to get tormented by, just like with Moses with Pharaoh. You know, Pharaoh was tormented. They was putting them plagues on it. The two witnesses going to be putting plagues on the people. You know, because they have power to do that, just like with Moses back then. And they're going to be tormented. See, tormented is just not a one-time thing. Just like Satan. That's his punishment. Will be tormented day and night. You know. The one that received the mark of the beast, you know, worship the beast in his image, will be tormented day and night. The Bible tell you that. Don't listen to these men tell you just get burned up, you ain't going to be tormented. You know. But what the Lord says, what He says in the Bible, you know, torment ain't just not no one-time thing. It's like with Pharaoh. Pharaoh don't want no torment no one day. No one-time thing. You know, he was mad because Moses putting them plagues on him. You know, the Bible tell you that. Oh, they're going to be tormented. The two witnesses going to torment it. Tell you that. I think it's in Revelation chapter 11. And verse 11 or 12, 10 or whatever. So he said he's going to be tormented. And these people lie to you, talking about you don't get burned or you don't be tormented and all that stuff. Like you didn't burn them like before you born, you don't know nothing. And that wouldn't be no punishment. Tell you that you're going to be tormented. You're going to be tormented. See? And like in verse 10, they're talking about it's in the Revelation chapter 11 and verse 10. It's saying, they that dwell on the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. See? Two witnesses got tormented. Just like with Moses then with Pharaoh. Pharaoh was tormented. Moses tried to put flies on them, frogs and different things, ice. You know, lice, you know, hail on them. They all that to them. Darkness up on them. You know, Pharaoh was tormented by that. See, ain't no one-time thing. Bible tell you in many places about torment. But thank y'all, and may God bless y'all and give y'all wisdom and knowledge and understanding of His word.